We have some major breaking news. It has been confirmed that Chris Gabehart is officially out at Joe Gibbs Racing. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty massive major breaking news, as it's pretty much been confirmed that Chris Gabehart has left Joe Gibbs Racing, effective immediately. Here was reported by Jenna Fryer from the Associated Press. During a break in court, I confirmed Chris Gabehart has left Joe Gibbs Racing. Denny Hamlin said he has no comment on the matter at this time. There has been a lot of rumors and a lot of speculation over the course of the last couple of weeks, and really for the last couple of days especially, that Chris Gabehart was going to be leaving Joe Gibbs Racing. But at the time, I didn't really believe the rumors because there wasn't a lot of reliable reports at the time that had been out. But it began to become completely clear that it was very likely that Chris Gabehart was going to be out at Joe Gibbs Racing very, very quickly. Now, we really don't know if that officially yet, because Joe Gibbs Racing has not released a statement at this time on why Chris Gabehart has left the program. But this is a really big deal. Chris Gabehart has been with Joe Gibbs Racing for a very, very long time. I think he started working with Joe Gibbs Racing back in like the late 2010s. I actually started working as a crew chief for Joe Gibbs Racing back in like the mid 2010s when he became a crew chief for the O'Reilly Auto Parts team in 2016. Almost won the championship with Eric Jones in 2016. Then I think he worked with Eric Jones in 2017, I'm pretty sure, when he went to work with Furniture Row Racing. And then around 2018, 2019, he got the opportunity to work with Denny Hamlin starting in 2019 year. And this is what really rejuvenated Denny Hamlin's career in the NASCAR Cup Series. We saw Denny Hamlin show a ton of improvement. He had a really good shot to win the championship in 2019. I think Hamlin got like 6 or 7 wins that season. Then in 2020, Hamlin had another incredible season. I think he won 7 races in 2020 with Chris Gabehart, and they made the championship for that year. Then in 2021, while they didn't win as many races as he did the 2 prior years, he had 2 wins that year and still made the championship for that season. And then 2022, while it was a struggle at points, Denny Hamlin had a 2-3 win season and then putting together a solid year, making the round of 8 that year. And then in 2023, Hamlin had a championship level season with 3 or 4 victories and went on to almost make the championship 4, though he got eliminated because he had some issues at Homestead at the end of the year. And then 2024, Denny Hamlin and Chris had a solid year, but they got eliminated in the round of 8. They had some issues there. And then it was shockingly announced at the end of 2024 that Chris Gabehart was no longer going to be the crew chief for Denny Hamlin at the start of 2025. And Denny Hamlin got paired with Chris Gale. Chris Gabehart went to work as the competition director for the team and organization, but about halfway through the year, because Ty Gibbs was really struggling throughout the year, because Tyler Allen and Ty Gibbs weren't working together very well, they put Chris Gabehart on the box. But there were times where things got very snippy between Chris Gabehart and Ty Gibbs on the radio. So that's one of the reasons why I think things in communication may have broken down. But this is a major loss for Joe Gibbs Racing. Chris Gabehart, I think, has been a massive reason why Joe Gibbs Racing had a ton of success this year. You think about the dominance of Joe Gibbs Racing at points. Joe Gibbs Racing, I believe, this season won the most races as an organization. I think they had, like a 13 or 14 win season. Chris Bell picked up 4 wins this year. Chase Briscoe got 3 wins, and Denny Hamlin picked up 6 wins. This is the most I think the organization has won since around 2019. I'm pretty sure when they won nearly half the races, when you still had drivers like Kyle Busch and even Mark Truex Jr. still driving for the program at the time. And you also had Eric Jones also driving for the program at that time, where all 4 drivers went to victory. I have to think part of the reason is because of the chemistry between Chris Gabehart and Ty Gibbs might have played a part in that happening. Now, the big question is, where's Chris Gabehart going to go in 2026? One of the rumors that is circulating at the moment is that Chris Gabehart might be headed over to Spire Motorsports in 2026 to work, I believe, maybe as a competition director for the program going into 2026. If this is true that Chris Gabehart is going over to Spire Motorsports, that is a massive upgrade for the team. That's going to put the team in a really good position going into 2026, because I think, again, Chris Gabehart was a major reason why the team had a lot of success at Joe Gibbs Racing for the last decade or so. And I really think that going into the upcoming season, if he is truly headed over to Spire, I think Spire Motorsports is even going to be stronger. We saw a lot of improvement from the team in 2025. Michael McDowell had a couple really great performances with the team, won a couple of poles throughout the year. Then, of course, Carson Hocevar showed a lot of promise and a lot of potential into 77, nearly won a couple races. And then, of course, Justin Neely had some struggles throughout the year, but they just brought Daniel Suarez into the program. And I think that you look at this team going to next year, I expect this team to only continue to get better. And I think that improvement is only going to get exponentially better going into the future. Because if you got Chris Gabehart over at Spire Motorsports in 2026, that's a team that I expect to show some dynamic stuff and show some really good things going into 2026. Because I do think that Chris Gabehart is going to be a big asset to Spire Motorsports. He's really going to help that team really step up their game, run a lot better, and I do expect a ton of potential from that team, again, to only keep getting stronger going into the 2026 season. And I think a lot of the other thing you have to look at why Chris Gabehart maybe also left Joe Gibbs Racing. Basically, him breaking up and not working with Denny Hamlin after 2024. Again, you all think about the working relationship that Chris Gabehart and Denny Hamlin had. They worked together very, very well in the 2024 season and in prior years in the past. But I do think that breaking up probably caused that situation to happen. I don't know if the loss, I'm not going to say the 2011 front row lawsuit really played a part in that, because I don't really think that it really played a major role, but this could have an effect on Joe Gibbs Racing. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Gibbs Racing does have at least some struggles going into 2026, but also you got to remember this too. Joe Gibbs Racing is one of the strongest teams in NASCAR competition. They've had so much success for over 30 years at this point. They've had very few years where that organization overall has completely struggled. I think Chris Gabehart leaving will affect the team somewhat, but I don't really think it's going to affect the team on a full scale. Might affect Ty Gibbs quite a bit, considering Ty Gibbs had complete struggles, and until Chris Gabehart got the chance and opportunity to work with Ty Gibbs, there was not improvement until he got to work with Chris. And then, of course, we think that Denny Hamlin, how is he going to be going in next with all the stuff that's happening off the track with the lawsuit, among other things as well? Will that have a big effect on Denny Hamlin going into the upcoming season? I think that's one thing to look at as well. Though Denny Hamlin is expected to stay for 2 more years, so you could definitely tell Denny Hamlin was frustrated with the way this season completely ended. Nonetheless, I think it'll be very interesting to see how the performance is for Joe Gibbs Racing going into 2026. I think there's a lot of potential for the team to still run really good, and maybe losing Chris Gabehart won't affect the program going forward. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, but definitely a massive, shocking loss for Joe Gibbs Racing for sure, and pretty crazy that Chris Gabehart is no longer at Joe Gibbs Racing, and I think we'll be seeing him at Spire Motorsports next year, which I think will be a really big deal for that organization going into the 2026 NASCAR Cup season. We'll find out exactly what position he gets. Maybe becomes a crew chief for Daniel Suarez. Maybe he's going to be the crew chief for Daniel Suarez next year, because they haven't announced who Suarez's crew chief is going to be. So maybe it's going to be Suarez's crew chief. Who knows at this point, but we'll see how the team ends up performing in 2026. So that is going to be today's special breaking news report on Chris Gabehart expected to leave Joe Gibbs Racing and potentially go to Spire. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Notifications on so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. List description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your thoughts about Chris Gabehart potentially out of Joe Gibbs Racing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I think he'll do Spire Motorsports more than likely next season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would not expect to have an update on the lawsuit later today. I'll probably talk more about the lawsuit once we get to Friday, and potentially there'll be a wrap-up video probably at the end of the week on the lawsuit as well. Then, of course, on Thursday, we'll have another video, special video dropping. Might be doing manufacturers that could join the Cup Series. Might be doing bold predictions. I do have a silly season update dropping on the channel in the next couple weeks as well, probably middle to late December before Christmas comes around. And I do have an early look at the Cup driver lineup for 2026 coming very soon as well in the next couple weeks. I also will be doing a video in the near future ranking where I think every driver will finish in the championship standings in 2026 as well. And I got some other big videos on the way, and bold NASCAR predictions coming soon, and O'Reilly and truck predictions for 2026 should be coming out a little bit closer to Christmas time. We got content coming up, people like Haley Diggin, Shaman Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bo Wallace, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Merritt, Frankie Muniz, Cletus Avon Dodge, Ram, Tony Sir, Casey Kane, Will Brown, Brad Feeney, Cam Waters, Tony Breidinger, you name it, the Colleague Racing Program, 2011 Front Row, the lawsuit, Michael Jordan, you name it, all the good stuff will be dropping on the channel in the coming days and coming weeks as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.